So we have a database that has these columns, A to R. Okay, and we want to filter by the patient location and ordering provider, patient name, last four, ID, etc., and date. So there's a subroutine called this. These are the dimensions and the variables. And we created an array here. So if I scroll across, you'll see the array go all the way across. So the array is stored in a variable myArray for I equals lower bound to upper bound, myArray. We're going to declare worksheet 2020 as sh data, and that's right here on the bottom. This is where we're going to pull the data from. We're going to output it into worksheet called myArray I, with I being the index number corresponding to the items in the array. We're also going to make the row 1 of sheet data, which is this data here, this sheet. So row 1 is everything here, A to R. We're going to make that equal to the myArray output sheet's first row. And the output sheet also will have the columns from A to R auto fit. And then we're going to clear the region from the output sheet. And then we're going to activate the data sheet, which is the 2020 data sheet. And we're going to select or declare a range and set it to RG, and it's going to highlight starting from A2 right here, and contiguously capture all the data to the last row, which would be row 55,000 or something like that. Then we're going to declare the variable J, and we're going to declare a variable row as a type long. We'll start with row 2, and for the counter we'll use as a J. For row 2 the range is row count, which will be 58 or whatever thousand, 55,000. We're also going to declare a variable, and it's going to store the value of whatever row you're on, the 7th column. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right here, patient location. And if the value of column 7 is equal and matches the array name, for example, if DoD Military Blood Program matches DoD Military Blood Program right here, then you're going to essentially make the value of whatever row you're on in the counter equal to, i.e. over here, whatever row you're on is going to now equal the new sheet that was created. Okay, and then we're going to move to the next row and increment it by 1. And then we'll move to the next counter, And then we're going to activate the new sheet that was just created, depending on the index of the array. And we're essentially going to count the number of rows and store it in this variable called numRows. And we're going to put that value to T1. So in T1 of each of the output sheets, it'll show how many rows populated that sheet. And then we're going to sort by column H2, which would be the ordering provider, H2 in ascending order. And then you're going to keep looping it until you're finished. So let's watch this in action. So we'll click on the subroutine or press F8. Keep going, F8, F8. And right there it added the new worksheet because it was the first element in the array. Keep going. Going to auto. So here you also have to go to this workbook, change it to sheet change. And you're going to type in cells.entirecolumn.autofit. So keep going with F8. And you can see how it auto-fit the columns to the column headers. And then we're going to go to the output sheet, which is this 1007 after hours treatment. And if there were any data in rows 2 and below, this would clear the this line of code would clear that section, and it goes back to here. You're going to activate sheet data, which is the data sheet 2020, and then we're going to set the range to A2, which is here, all the way down to the last row. And then we'll start the row at row 2, start the counter. And so the range.rows.count will show a value of 50,899. So there are almost 51,000 rows in this sheet. I'll click OK. Click F8. Keep going. Keep going. And so on and so forth. And you keep looping it until you find matching values to populate this sheet. And then in the end, once all is said and done, it'll look sort of like this.